Hey, Crossview, Rosa Parks. Brian and Sandy Asker here. We are your pastors, and it is time for another Ask Us. It is November, I think, 19th. Got that right this time?
All day.
Okay, good. November 19th. It's Thursday. It is...
Yep, I'm turning it down.
Perfect. It is noon, and we do this every week. It's a chance for you to ask us questions about anything. We will do our best to answer the question, whatever that might be. So we've got some fun things today. Of course, Governor Walz announced some
Which
shutdown
is not a fun
orders.
thing.
Not so
That's
fun.
not a fun thing.
No, but we'll talk a little bit about that and some of what how we're responding to that, and then we've got.
And I've got my smoothie.
There you go.
You've got your tea.
I've got my tea. So we are ready to go. Of course, we always want to let people know you can send in your questions online on our website via text or email, and we'll be watching Facebook to see if there are any live comments or questions for us to ask. We'll do our best to answer any.
Excellent.
So,
hello, my friend who just tuned in. Let me know if you have a question.
There, awesome. So we always like to start off with how we've seen God at work in the life of our church.
Let's start positively.
Exactly. Let's start with that. So, what do you want to say? You got some fun stories?
We have a friend who has joined our small group who's just really getting into the Bible. Maybe again for the first time. I'm not real sure what the history was.
Yeah.
And so, when you have a small group and somebody's really engaged in asking questions, I realized on Tuesday night there were times in our small group that neither Brian or I were part of the conversation. And sometimes you're in a group and you ask a question and one person answers and then nothing. And then you as the leader ask a question and one person answers and that's it. It's sort of like a weird game of tennis or catch or something. Your computer just went to sleep. That's how boring it is. The computer's sleeping on me. Anyway, and I realized during our discussion, because there were so many people, not just our one friend, but a lot of people engaging.
Right.
We just
it was a fun discussion.
we just literally sat back and they kind of had a conversation and they don't really need us anymore.
Genius.
It's great. It's been really fun.
Yeah, that's phenomenal parenting right there when your kids don't need you anymore. So.
Parenting. Yeah, it is.
Okay, so the other thing that I think is really exciting is we continue to see new people come to our Sunday morning gathering worship, and in particularly we served a few weeks ago at my place, and we had one of the new staff there that hung out with us and served with us come to church on Sunday. So that was exciting. Right. We had some parents and some people traveling come in. Just really, I'm amazed that we continue to see people. And I know that you're out there inviting, so we want to continue to encourage that, whether you're inviting them to join us online or in person. We want to continue to help people to connect with Jesus. So, and we've also got some fun social media stuff out there with some great graphics that have been going out.
You're pretty excited about that.
I am. We've got some great response on that too. Okay. So we've had a number of comments, people sharing that with others in the community as well as around the country. So. Just fun to see that happening. So thanks for all of your partnership in the gospel on that.
I keep saying that God is giving us enough good things to help us persevere. Because there are plenty of things that are frustrating right now too. But
for sure. Yeah. So this past Sunday, we were talking through the Sermon on the Mount series that we're doing called Unexpected. And this week, we looked at how Jesus taught his disciples to pray. Mm-hmm. And we talked about how prayer is our act of humble dependence on God. And it's so much more than just asking for things. There is a component of looking to see what God wants to happen in our lives. Yep. And there's also this component that we wrestled with around forgiveness. And that's really what our small group wrestled with on Tuesday night, was that element of forgiveness. How do we deal with that piece?
There's a lot in there about forgiveness in that section.
Yeah, and I think forgiveness is so hard that we need to ask God for his help in that. And I think, that's the lesson, and just the utter importance of that.
Utter?
Yes,
utter. Importance.
Utter importance, yes.
I, for a minute, thought you said outer importance, and I was trying to figure out what that meant.
No, utter.
Sorry.
It's very important. So
get the hair out of my ears.
Right. Jesus continues to invite us into an unexpected life. And these messages are teaching us how to be kingdom citizens, how to be members of the family of God, good citizens, good family members. So
And I would say as a result of Sunday, we rescheduled our weekly prayer meeting at 6:30. And so I just talked to somebody this morning who said, oh, that makes it so much easier. We normally eat at 6. So this way we can tune in at 6:30. And also, I have realized that the Lord's Prayer is something I can pray for other people. So as I've been thinking about, like if I were to pray for you, that God would be Father in your life today, that you would honor his name, that his will would be done in your life and his kingdom come. Anyway, so I've not done that before. Maybe it seems obvious to other people, but that's been one specific thing that I have tried to do to apply
That's great.
the Lord's Prayer sermon in my life.
That's good. So we always have people asking us about what's happening and what's happening in the life of the church, and particularly, we haven't necessarily gotten this question per se, although I think we've had a few people hint at it. What are you going to do in the face of all that's happening with the coronavirus and things happening? So,
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
We don't know yet.
That's true.
So we don't know
one,
completely.
We don't know.
We do know that small groups will still happen. They're just on Zoom.
Yeah. Yep. And as of right now, we are planning to do service on Sunday. Council will be meeting tonight to discuss kind of further recommendations and decisions on kind of next steps. The COVID task force that we have, which is a broad representation of our church from different sectors of the community, we'll be gathering next week and talking a little bit more about kind of what we should do and how we should respond, and things will go through the council. So.
Especially after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll have some more wisdom perhaps from other leaders at church.
Yep. So at least for right now, we are planning to go ahead this Sunday. And of course, you can join us online or in person. And so, let us know.
Are we going to talk about the other fun things that are
Yes,
happening
we are.
right now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Do you want to talk about the first fun thing?
No, I want you to.
Okay. Am I talking about this part?
Sure.
So one of the ways that I think that we can continue to engage and continue to follow Jesus in these days is think about the people who have really been hit hard. And one of the things that I know is just food anxiety can become even more obvious when your kids are home all day. I was just thinking about that today. When the boys are going to have school, they tune in at 8, and then you see there's like a snack break on there. And I was like, gosh, what if some of these kids are in homes where they don't have enough food for a snack plus lunch? So we are going to partner with the Echo Food Shelf in Mankato, and we're going to try to stuff the bus. So Crossview Covenant Church owns a very large, it's a full-size bus.
It's a school bus.
It's a school bus, but it's not yellow. And we're going to be staffing from the 22nd through the 29th, at church. And you guys can stop by and bring food donations. And you can also, if you don't feel comfortable coming to church, you can do it online. There's like a wish list of some sort, and it's on our website, which I'm assuming we could throw in the chat or something right now.
Yep. It's pretty simple. But we can throw it in the chat. It's crossview.church/Thanksgiving. And speaking of that, there are a number of other things that are going to be happening during the week of Thanksgiving as we continue to think about how can we engage in our faith life in this season, especially as people are spending less time out in social circles. How can we engage and help people? How can we engage in our faith life? So we've got a ton of fun things coming that will also be on that same website, crossview.church/Thanksgiving. We'll put that in the comments.
Prayers to do at lunchtime. And
yeah, we'll have some prayers, daily prayers that you can pray. We went back and looked at some of the saints who have lived before us and have prayed various prayers. So we've got a number of those that you can pray along with each day. You can do it multiple times a day. You can do it during meal times. You could do it during bedtime. We've got some bedtime conversations, starters for families to talk about Thanksgiving and those sorts of things. So just some fun ways to engage.
Good. That hits all three of those, right?
I think we nailed it.
Fantastic.
And I think the last thing we wanted to talk about was kind of how are we responding, and how can we as people of faith respond to Walls's kind of shut down information around social gatherings and those sorts of things. So we thought of a couple things that we wanted to bring to our community.
Rosa Parks is calling.
Aha.
I'll let them take a message.
Okay.
Sorry, that's why I was distracted. Yeah, one of the things that our family has started to do is think ahead. What are the things that we want to do in the future? And so the kids and Brian have a ski pass. We're hoping to be outside at the ski hill. And I bought a pair of new cross-country ski boots. So trying to get outside as much as we can, even when it's cold and in the snow.
Yeah, we also purchased a few puzzles so we can do that as a family, and we've been having fun putting those together. We're on number 2. We almost finished it before we had to start this, but we didn't quite. So
Right.
that's something fun for our family to do.
Yep.
I think in relation to that, I think when I'm thinking about that, how can
yeah,
we
you're
live
right.
that out, and how
Yeah.
can we as a faith community live that out? What underlies that is not these ideas, but this idea of what can we do. And
Yes.
I think, I was really encouraged by one of our members, Janet Miller, this past spring, when, the shutdown happened.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one said, I can't do all these things, but what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
And if you read the Mankato Free Press, she got out and visited all 66,
Every single one.
67
Something like
state
that.
parks
She
in
started
Minnesota.
in March and finished in October.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I think those are the things that we want to think about. What are the things that we can do in the season, not what are the things that we can't?
Mm-hmm.
And to focus on those things. And I think that's some of what's going to get us through.
Right.
And the second thing that I was thinking about, you want to share that?
No, because I don't know what you're thinking about.
Oh, okay. I put it in the notes, so I didn't know if you read it. I think the second thing as faith people we can do in any season when we're having difficulties, when we're facing difficult times, is to focus on Jesus. He is the one who gives us strength, who helps us to walk through these seasons. So, spending a little bit more time reading our Bibles, praying.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy mentioned the fact that we're going to be doing the prayer. We moved it to 6:30, hoping to make that a little bit more available for people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to pray at that time either. You can jump on any time.
Right.
We would love to pray with you. We could do a Zoom call or a phone call and pray with you. This is a time for us to double down on Jesus and to focus on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is interesting to think. I mean, people say it kind of tongue-in-cheek, what would Jesus do? But what would Jesus do? What would he tell his disciples to do in the midst of a pandemic?
Yeah. And I think all the way back to Easter when we were talking about, how did Jesus respond in the world that he was living in? And what did the resurrection tell his first, followers of Jesus? And it said that Jesus is the hope of the world. If Jesus can overcome the grave, he can overcome a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to hold on to as Jesus followers.
Yep, absolutely.
Do we have any other comments or things? Questions?
I don't right now, other than Rosa Parks left a voicemail.
All right, well, we'll get to that. I thought we should close with the Lord's Prayer.
That would be a really good idea.
All right.
Are we going to say trespasses?
Yes.
Sins. Trespasses. Okay.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Have a great week. I don't think we're going to do this. Well, we'll see. Have a great